Hi everyone, I'm Jim and welcome to the review of Jugulator, the 13th studio album by the heavy metal gods Judas Priest. I've missed out on the Japanese release date, so let's just say that today we're celebrating the 25th anniversary of the record, so I've decided to go back and see if it still holds up or not. My story with this band is quite simple. When I was born at the end of the 90s, my family actually really loved this band. They had a lot of cassette tapes of Judas Priest albums, so when I was little I was listening to this stuff. I've especially liked the album British Steel. My first memory of Judas Priest is listening to that song Breaking the Law from that album. But still my favorite album from this band back then and to this day is Painkiller. I just love listening to it. Back then I also did jokes with my uncle because he looked very similar to Rob Halford in that Painkiller music video. They've looked like twins there, it was so hilarious to me. Let's just say I am a fan of this band since I was born. I am not a fan of all of the albums, but some of them are just classics for me. Even the newest one, Firepower, it had so many bangers. Children of the Sun, I just love that one. That song was perfect. Anyways, Jugulator is a black sheep of this band's discography. It's the first one to feature a new vocalist, Owens, because Rob left the band in 91 or 2, something like that. So when it comes to the fan reception, Tim Ripper Owens wasn't that favorably welcomed into the band. Let's just say they wanted to rip him apart. He made 2 albums with the band, this one and the next one called Demolition. For some reason, people say Demolition is a nu metal album. It's like saying that Limp Bizkit creates progressive thrash metal music. They are not doing it, and Demolition is not nu metal. But Jugulator has some nu metal influences. It's mostly groove metal mixed with thrash and heavy metal, but it does have some of that nu metal spirit, which is weird to me. Jugulator is considered to be the heaviest album by this band. Let's find out if that's a good thing or not. The production is tight, I really enjoy it. It's heavy, it's punchy, it has that raw feeling about it. It was produced by Glenn, the guitarist of the band. The message is diverse, most of this stuff is cringy as hell, you know, typical killer, murderer stuff, or we're heavy metal guys, but there are some serious subjects tackled on this record, especially in the song Brain Dead, which is about people who are just laying in their hospital beds waiting for death and they are immobilized and cannot think for themselves. It's a sad thing, but what can we do? Structure is basic, there's nothing special about these songs. We have intro, then verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, some solos here and there, that's it. The album starts with the title track, Jugulator. I really adore the intro here, it has that sinister vibe about it. The guitars are great, the bass is audible, the drummer is killing it as usual. The vocals are just not that great, to be honest. It seems to me like Owen isn't singing in key of the song or just not in the same rhythm. It's weird as hell and it makes the song weaker for me. But I did enjoy the instrumental part. 7 out of 10. I can say the same thing about Bloodstained. The instrumental is slightly worse than the previous song, but the vocals are better. So 7 out of 10, just a good song. Dead Meat. Finally, we have some memorable song here that I want to listen to. I like the instrumental work here, even the vocals sound good, especially the chorus. The chorus is the best part of this song. I like to replay it a lot. 8 out of 10. Death Row is the weakest song on this record. I am not big fan of that long intro. The riffs sound like fillers, to be honest. There's some bass here which I like, but besides that, it's just an average song that you will forget when you finish listening to it. 5 out of 10. Decapitate, on the other hand, starts with a corn riff. It's probably the most nu metal song on this record. I like the dark atmosphere of this song. The vocals sound actually good here. There are still some vocal parts here that I am not a fan of, but overall I think it's a great song, 8 out of 10. Burn in Hell, on the other hand, sounds like a filler track, but it also has a very long intro. Aren't you recognizing that riff from the intro? Isn't that Raining Blood by Slayer? It sounds very similar. It seems like Judas Priest were listening to a lot of first Slayer albums because almost all of the riffs have that Slayer vibe to them. This song just makes me confused that I am listening to Slayer. 6 out of 10. Brain Dead. Now this song again has some nu metal vibes. It's also very heavy, interesting, the grooves are great here, the bass, the drumming. I always forget to mention the drumming, but here he's just killing it from the beginning to the end. Every song has very interesting drumming patterns and it sounds nice. The vocals on the other hand are good on this song. It's not on the same level as Halford, but the vocals are nice. 8 out of 10. Abductors is a song that again has a main melody that sounds like it's from another band. I don't know which one, so if you know, you can write down in the comments. That would be helpful. The star of this song is the vocalist for sure. It's his best vocal performance on this album. I love his screaming and singing. I wish he would do these kinds of vocals throughout the entire album and not just start singing great on the 8th fucking song. Like, what are you doing, bro? The riffs are nice, the bass again good, the drumming as usual perfect. It's a great song, 8 out of 10. Bullet Train is the highlight of this record for me. Everything just clicks in this song. I wonder if it was written on the Painkiller sessions. It has that vibe. I love the riffs, they are full of energy, interesting to listen to. The best part of the song is the chorus, and yet again, the vocals are just perfect. They're just as good as on Abductors, which is a big surprise to me. Why didn't Owen sing like that on the entire album is beyond me. 10 out of 10. And the final song, which many people say it's the best one from Tim era. I don't agree with that statement. The first 2-3 minutes of this track are really great. I adore the atmosphere, the acoustic stuff, everything, the vocals. But later when it becomes heavy, it just sounds like a filler song. Still, it picks up in some parts, I like it, but it could have been so much more. For me, it's just 8 out of 10. A great track with a legendary beginning, but that's just it. To sum it all up, the consistency is various. Some songs are great, there's one masterpiece here, the other tracks are just good or average. The flow is disrupted, the album is fun to listen to when it's fresh, but after hearing it a couple of times, it gets kinda tedious and some songs you're just going to skip. Replayability? Yeah, it's just a good album. It could have been so much more. I wonder how would this sound with rap on the vocals, what kind of vocal patterns he would write for this stuff, because I am just disappointed by the vocals here, not the sound of them. The sound is good, but the patterns are just so weird to me. Instrumentally, it's the second best Judas Priest album. I just love this dark vibe it has. It's sinister, it's desolate, post-apocalyptic for sure. It's just a sequel to Painkiller, but the vocals just don't hit that much. I wanted to review this album because no one ever talks about it, and when I hear people talking about it, they always shit on it and say it's an abomination, but it's just a worse Painkiller Part 2 for me. I think it got so much hate because people were waiting for Painkiller follow-up for 7 years, and they got this, which isn't on the same level, like at all. But it's still fun to listen to, and nowadays we don't have that much dark Judas Priest music. It's more melodic and heartwarming these days, so I like to come back to this one. That's all from me, thank you for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe. Write down what you think about Jugulator. Is it an abomination or not? For me it's just good, it's okay. Bye!